I've never regretted saying yes when it comes to serving the game of golf. And I think we said this earlier too, but I have found that the more you give back to the game, the more you get.
And I think like 11 through 17, I think is one of the great stretches of inland golf anywhere, forget the state of Florida, I think anywhere.
Serving the game is a privilege. Seeing joy, the joy of the game brought to so many others is a real charge. And it's even better than shooting 66 once in a while.
In this film, we're heading across our home state of Florida to check out Miakka Golf Club, a brand new course that exists in a category all by itself. Our guest, Kevin Hammer, is a good stick, a friend of the show, and just began his tenure as the president of the USGA.
Go in.
We get to tour this incredible new property with the architect, Dana Fry.
The key is to make it look like it was here.
And during our loop of the front nine, we hear Kevin's story and his plans for leading our game's governing body. SGR presents Miakka with Kevin Hammer. We're based here in Palm Beach County on the east coast of Florida. And compared to a few places we're going this year, the 3-hour drive over to Miakka kind of feels like a home game.
So as you head west from Palm Beach County, the state of Florida becomes rural very quickly, but it's beautiful. I'm sure this is what the whole state looked like before it was developed on the coast, but I always love driving across. Gives you a good appreciation for natural Florida. And where we're going is closer to this than civilization.
After enjoying the untouched Florida landscape and sunset through the windshield, we arrived at our hotel a few hours later. We're meeting up with Kevin first thing in the morning.
Here's Kevin. Hey there.
So I can't remember what I've shared with you or what I haven't, but we're going to pass by pretty quickly here an enormous turf farm, which is kind of a part of the club. So these two strains of zoysia grass, he took over the worldwide rights on these two new strains of zoysia, laser zoysia and stadium zoysia.
Yep.
So he started with 500 acres of a turf farm, sand capped the turf farm, so that when they transplant it from the turf farm to the golf course, they don't wash the sod. It's like to like, because they sand capped the entire property on the golf course as well. And then he did another 500 acres. So I think there's well over 1,000 acres of just turf farm now.
Wow. Wow.
So you're going to be seeing part of that here throughout the day. So then that's kind of on one side of the street. The other side of the street is the golf course and the club, which obviously they're still building like crazy. They're going to have a.
Oh yeah, I see it coming up.
It's like I said, it's yeah. Well, wait till you see what we're about to see. It should be pretty fun. And considering that it's not even open, they're only doing for a few friends, just let them look at it.
This is rare access.
So we're getting one of the first looks at it, really.
This can't be the golf project.
We arrived to a turf farm and busy construction site. I've been so lucky over the past few years to see a lot of brand new golf, but I've never seen anything like this.
Wow, this is going to be a very interesting day.
We park the truck and are met by architect Dana Fry, the earth-moving mad scientist who's building this place. He'll be giving us a tour of the property in a Can-Am side-by-side.
This will be the grand entrance, and that's where the gate is.
Miakka is a project unlike any other. They're doing things here on a scale that has never been attempted, from the proprietary turf farm to a new way to build bunkers and more earth-moving than any project ever. As a result, they've built a golf course that is hard to compare to anything, especially in Florida. Dana is about to make some heavy claims about it, but later on, after we play the finished front nine, I just might have to agree with him.
And I think like 11 through 17, I think is one of the great stretches of inland golf anywhere, forget the state of Florida, I think anywhere. Inland golf, that's unbelievably dramatic. And it all happened because of the 8th hole is when everybody, I think, firmly understood what we were trying to do. When Steve saw it, he sent a text that he needed to talk to me, and I was in Ireland, and I asked if I was in trouble. He said, and that's when he said, I understand what you're doing now, go. And then the back nine got significantly bigger.
You know me, born and raised in Florida, been around golf my entire life in Florida, and I've never seen anything like this in the state of Florida. And it's just got a beautiful look to it.
Dana is a former college golfer turned golf architect. He worked under Fazio before going out on his own, teaming up with Jason Straka. He said this about their partnership.
Partner, Jason Straka, because technically saying he's superior to me would be an understatement. He's vastly superior to me with the technical stuff.
Dana has built and renovated dozens of golf courses around the world, most notably Erin Hills, Calusa Pines, and Union League National. From what I've seen, Dana's work is a lot like his personality: bold, charismatic, and completely original.
And one of the things I'm most proud about of the place itself is that we've moved. We honestly don't know, but the final number, because we're getting close to being finished. We're finishing in the next few weeks. I mean, we've been moving dirt since April of 2024, so it's going to be basically a 22, 23-month process of moving dirt for the 18 holes. We still got to do the driving range and the par 3 course, but we probably moved in the neighborhood of 6 million cubic yards.
So just for your reference, this small dump truck here holds about 15 cubic yards. Yeah, 15. These can hold 20, and the biggest of trucks can haul north of 30. But regardless of what trucks they were using, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of truckloads running nonstop for almost 2 years. We can tell from the first conversation that he's been waiting his whole career for this kind of freedom. Just listen to how he talks about things happening here that have never been done before.
We have over 80 feet of grade change on the property now, which is unheard of in the state.
Is this more than Union League?
Oh, by
A lot.
4 times, 5 times, but way more. This one fill that we're on goes to the third green, and it goes to the 14th tee in the far corner, and that is almost 2.5 to 3 miles, and it's a continuous fill. And we have over 5 million yards in the one continuous fill. That has never been done ever. It is really different what we're seeing here.
I love the way your eyes light up when you say it's never been done. Which
Well,
there's so many things that have never been done before.
So many. I mean,
Your eyes are lighting up a lot.
What he did in the fairway system,
Yeah.
and all the turf grass areas, 143 acres. But the thing that probably long term is be the greatest benefit to all the members, which they don't understand, is what's underneath all 143 acres of turf grass. We basically built this course with drainage every 15 to 18 feet, sand cap with USGA greens mix. We have basically built a 143 acre putting green. Unbelievable.
I love it.
It's just staggering, all these things. I mean, we honestly don't know how many trees we're moving, because the big trees we know, there's 4,000 or 5,000 of those going in. But then, we have another company that does the smaller trees, and the cabbage palms and the pines. There's another 5,000 or 10,000 of those going in. I mean, just at the scale of, and then millions of ornamental grasses and ground covers and shrubs, because golf course shapers shaped about 900 acres here. And we're revegetating. If it's not turf grass, then it's got to be revegetated. Some of it has sand in the sand scrub areas, but a lot of it is just hundreds and hundreds of acres of revegetation. I mean, the scale of all of this is just unprecedented in golf. Everything is manufactured, but the key is to make it look like it was here. And he said, well, what about using the old remnants from the barns, the old roofs and the old siding from the barns and the old wood from the barns? And I'm like, so we start tearing down old barns and around Miakka City, and that's what we're building. So all the walls you'll see on the golf course are all the old metal and old wood from the barns, some of which are 80, 90, 100-year-old barns. And it kept it with that farmish motif that we have going here.
We ride over to the back 9 to see the golf that's still being built. I wouldn't trust many people behind the wheel on this route we're taking.
You gotta be. Most people don't get to see this side of the game. Nor do they realize how dangerous it is building golf courses.
Well, most of them aren't quite like this. This is a one of one here. But you got to get just this one shot. This is the back tee on number 12. That's 11 green. You can see the tees where all these flags are, and then all the tees are always hitting over the canyon. You can see the green, the post out there, that sticking on the end of the point. That's at elevation 68. We're about at elevation 88. So you're hitting downhill about 20 feet. So this hill's gonna have that saddle, and it's just gonna rise into that giant hill. And then we're gonna be planting like those big trees like you see down these gigantic old trees. We're gonna plant 15 to 20 of those in these ridges.
I wanted to see the unique bunker faces being built in real time, so we hopped back in the Can-Am and went straight down another sketchy path.
Not at all. I just did this yesterday.
Kevin, you used to this? Oh my God.
Well, the bunker edging is I'm a big fan, which every architect is, and almost everybody that's really a hardcore golf person. Some of the best courses in the world are in the Sandbelt region in Melbourne. My stepson had gone down to play in tournaments there for a couple years in a row in January. We played all those courses. And then when we were in planning, I suggested building these types of bunkers. Everybody agreed to right away because Paul Azinger said they're his favorite. But then the issue became is how do you build them? This is the stuff that's mixed into the soil from the project, the sand we found on the project. But
What is it? It's like a natural material.
Come here, we're gonna Terry explain that to you. Hey Brock, you gotta go on film here. Explain to them what this material is and how it works.
All right, so this fibrous material is called lock sand. It's basically made of plastic so it doesn't break down.
Okay.
But it's blended into this dark soil material, which was actually a hardpan layer we found in the lake. So it's got a lot of organics, a lot of silts, a lot of clays, which helps the bunkers take shape and hold form.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just visually, it's just incredible.
And they put a little moisture in it with it, don't they?
What an incredible look behind the scenes with Dana. We'll let him get back to work, and we're going to head over to the turf farm and get our golf clubs. The sun starts to peek through the fog as we head over to the most unique driving range I've ever hit balls on.
This is a pretty interesting little driving range here into a sod farm.
Welcome to one of the largest and most private practice grounds in the world.
All fairway too.
You have 2,000 acres.
Yeah, how long is the range? It's 2,000 acres.
2,000
All right.
acres.
Plenty of space for me.
Practice ground that will not need to be lengthened.
No. Unbelievable. Oh.
We haven't even played a hole yet, but it's been a pretty interesting day in golf already.
Very interesting day in golf. This is not a standard day in golf for anyone.
After a few short irons, I'm itching to see this course with a bag on my shoulder.
So we are here about 20 miles outside of Sararota at Miakka Golf Club, which Steve Herrig and his family are building with Dana Fry and Jason Straka as their lead architects, and Paul Azinger, as you well know that name. He's from this area, he's here in Sarasota, and he's got heavy involvement in the golf course as well. We sit just off the Miakka River, an old Indian name of the town here, and it's just an exquisite piece of property, and we're the fortunate few that have been are able to see it early on before anybody's really playing any golf here. So we're going to go play the front nine and walk and get to know this property and have a great day.
Thank you. We're gonna find out what those edges are like in person. Kevin, the first thing I want
Check out these bunkers.
to ask you about is you're the incoming president of the USGA. How do you wind up in that position?
Sometimes I ask myself the same question. No, really, it's a lifetime of just being involved in the game for me personally. So I grew up 100 yards from the golf clubhouse at Delray Dunes Golf and Country Club in Boynton Beach, Florida. It was Pete Dye's first design in the state of Florida. My father had played the tour in the 60s a little bit after graduating from the University of Florida, where he played his college golf. And after a few years on tour, some friends of his got early on in the development, and he decided to come off the tour, be an investor in the club, built the first house in the community, built the club from the ground up, out of the ground as it was being designed, and was the director of golf there for 43 years. So growing up around golf, I did end up playing a lot of golf as a youth as well, and loved to play competitively. I got involved with the American Junior Golf Association and started playing some AJGA events, and was fortunate to kind of have a choice of schools to go to play college golf. Chose to go to Florida, where my father and my godfather, Bob Murphy, both played their college golf as well. Really, I think the hook for me was I got involved in golf administration in my 20s. I was asked to join the board of the Florida State Golf Association
In your 20s?
in my late 20s.
Yeah.
And I really just grew to love all aspects of golf administration. My own game took a back seat, and I was fine with that being the case because I was around so many wonderful people in the game of golf that were making golf happen and making golf accessible for others.
Yeah.
So after about 12 years with Florida State Golf Association, I became their president in 2021. I was pleasantly surprised, never really expected it, but was pleasantly surprised when the USGA asked me to come onto their executive committee. That was already 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sit. It might come back to it.
Walking up to the green, Kevin said something else I had to be sure to include. He said, "I'm a big believer the more you serve this game, the more it gives back to you in return." Words all of us should live by.
Yeah, nice touch.
Well, they've got some speed on them.
Oh. Yep, good putt. What are you putting with there? That's a classic. Is that a pre-Cameron Titleist? Oh no, it's Cameron. Or pre-Titleist Cameron.
Noble.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The second hole for me is where the drama starts. The short four playing along a creek sets the tone early in the round. I mean, just look at this bunkering.
Oh boy.
Looks like it's going to be tough. You've obviously been all over the world through this game. What are some of your favorite places in golf that you've been to? Absolute favorites.
I have been fortunate. There's so many places I have yet to go to. You know, today, playing here today with these kind of sand belt inspired bunker edges makes me want to get to Melbourne in Australia, which I haven't been to yet.
Me neither.
But my mind, when people ask me that question, my mind goes to the UK, Linksy golf. I really am inspired by the creativity that links golf employs, and just the history and the tradition there, and the people, and even the towns, how they live and breathe the game of golf speaks to me.
Yeah. Sit there. Pretty good to get it out. I don't know if anyone's ever been here before. Pretty good.
Nice out. I think in a lot of cases, it's just that it starts and ends in town. It's literally a part of the fabric of the community, and you see it. It's not behind a gate or behind a hedge over there. It's part of daily life. And I think that speaks, that lends itself to young people and people of all ages just partaking in the game. Hello.
Ah.
Nice.
Thanks. I want to talk about the U.S. National Development Program, which is something I think is really cool that's come out of the ground in the last couple of years. Tell me about that and your involvement.
Sure, we're very excited about it. I mean, the USGA is doing things now that just 10, 20 years ago they would have said, we don't do that, that's not our mandate.
Yeah.
It's been so much fun to be involved in creating some programming that is affecting a lot of people very positively. The U.S. National Development Program is one of those. So just about every other country has a government-funded all-country program.
Yeah.
The U.S. had never had that, so we basically figured if the USGA doesn't do this, no one else is going to do it.
Who's going to do it? Yeah.
Already we've got 26 state teams below the U.S. National Development Team.
Yeah, I've seen that sort of roll out over the last few weeks. That's really cool. I just think back to when I was a junior golfer. I probably wouldn't have been on it for Virginia, but I would have known the guys, and that would have really fired me up to...
You would have been rooting for your home state team. Nice play.
As I was rolling through the vast and sacred valley,
Stretch. Almost back uphill. Easy
I
four.
saw a woman who approached me. She had
The fourth is our first par 5 on the front. Picking a line the first time around was a bit tricky, but a hole is only blind once, and I know what to do next time I play.
Something we gotta get into, and I'm sure people want to hear your thoughts on, is the distance golf ball rollback conversation.
Sure.
What are your thoughts and potential actions?
So it's not easy, and
Of course.
most people would agree. Most people you talk to in golf wish something were done 30 or 40 years ago, and it really hasn't. But that doesn't mean or preclude us from doing something now
Sure.
in the best interest of the game long term. In the golf ball, I would say the word rollback is really not an accurate description of what's being currently contemplated.
Yeah.
It's really about keeping things in the current range longer
Yeah.
or slowing down the next big jump in future distance increases.
Sure.
Gains.
What would you say to someone who doesn't hit it a long way? You know, my dad, who's losing distance. Well, sorry, Dad, but losing distance.
Right.
You know, every year, like that doesn't want to hit it any shorter.
He's not going to lose any more distance because of this. The impact on the recreational game is negligible.
Yeah.
It's literally 1%.
Yeah.
So any day we play golf, I would tell your father, any day we play golf, not only does his body feel differently, the conditions are different.
Totally.
It's a little drier, a little firmer, a little faster. You play at elevation, you play at sea level, you play in cold weather, you play in hot weather. Those variables affect distance to a far greater degree than the new metrics of this golf ball ever will. Even you and I, believe it or not, Trey,
Yep.
will not notice it hardly at all. And you just look forward. There's only so many organizations that can truly look out for the best interests of the game long term.
Yep.
Without any real conflict of interest, and
also
the
people,
USGA is one of those.
I think, have forgotten that the game of golf is not how far can we hit it. It's how many times are we going to hit it in a round, and it's scoring, and it's controlling the golf ball, and
Yes.
all that stuff is so much more important than hitting it 10 yards further or 20 yards further.
Well, one of the great questions I was asked by an individual was, well, I just want to know one thing. I said, what's that? They said, I want to know if this ball is going to roll any different from 8 feet. I said, I didn't quite understand the question at first, and then I realized he was kind of joking, saying, you know, the only thing that matters is whether or not you make 8-footers, you know. That's a heck of a lot more important than a couple yards here, a couple yards there, and he's
Completely
right.
agree.
And he's right.
Completely agree.
Running through the road, it's such a fine feeling. Passed out on the concrete, dizzy from the spinning. Wake up to the feeling that everybody's leaving. I'm sick of your calm now, sick of your truth, sick of your
Yeah,
way.
nice touch.
I'm sick of your tragedy that's living in our stasis. I'm sick of your echoes, sick of these ghosts that haunt our place.
The fifth hole is perhaps the simplest and best hole we'll see today. This is the one my mind keeps coming back to when I think about the front nine. The green sits on the old Miakka River, representing the low point in this property. I think this par 3 will go down as one of the best one-shotters in the whole state of Florida.
Passed out on the concrete, dizzy from the spinning. Wake up to the feeling
Go!
that everybody's leaving.
Bunker all day. Oh, it made it.
Got there?
Wow, that was a pleasant surprise. More than the average.
Dana made his way back out to meet us here on this tee box.
Well, everything just blends
Even-
in. It
it
really
does.
does feel like it's been there.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It does.
completely contrived. You know, you just, you know it was man-made, but you can't believe it was. And that's what everybody that keeps coming. And when the trees start filling in and they start getting dense like that, this place will look, there's going to be people 10 years that come here from now and say,
You didn't move any dirt?
Yeah.
they hit the greatest sand ridge ever in the history of Florida.
Right.
Will there be any change upcoming to the amateur reinstatement? I was a former pro. My joke is that when I called the USGA to get my status back, they're like, we didn't even know you would turn pro. Go right ahead. And so that was my experience because I had such a short and we'll call it unsuccessful professional career. But what are your thoughts on the reinstatement?
For the vast, vast majority of them, do we want to welcome them back into the amateur game if they have that desire and now they're changed careers and they're working and no longer playing professional? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
So it's never the perfect balance, you know.
It's such a tough question, almost a question with no answer.
It is a little bit. I think if anything, you'll see the requirements get a little tighter, a little stronger going forward. But in reality, the real question marks are very few. Of the thousands of people that come through that system, most of them shoot. The game's better with them back in the game and participating and competing in the game, no doubt about it.
Uh-oh. Oh, here it goes. How is it going that way? I completely misread that and made it. Oh!
Pretty.
I think we both would be called traditionalists in this game. We like to walk. We love old places in history. How do you think we can grow golf without leaving tradition behind?
So you ask a great question. One of the things I'm most proud of about the USGA in recent years is that we've expanded what our definition of a golfer is. So it was needed to happen, right? It used to be there was a very strict definition that, you know, a certain golfer had to play X number of rounds in a given calendar year. Not anymore. The USGA believes you're a golfer if you have an interest in golf in any way, shape, or form. If you play screen golf, indoor golf, top golf, pop stroke, putt, doesn't matter. That's all golf.
Yeah.
So now the challenge becomes, how do you further connect with all those people that play that game, that type of golf? And how do you further connect with them, and how do you embrace that while also defending what's pure about the big game, the true game, I like to call it. So it's a balance, and it can be done, but I think that, you know, part of it is being able to connect with young people in the game so that you can have a connection with them throughout their life in golf, so that you can better educate them and help advise them on what's really important about the game and why the game is different. You hear a lot today about trying to compare golf to other sports.
Yeah, you can't.
A good reminder is that golf is different. It's always been different, and it's probably meant to be a little bit different than a lot of other sports. And it goes back to, we wanted to defend all those beautiful aspects of the game. We all know what they are.
Yeah.
The ethics, the morals, the values, the sense of decorum. We want to defend all those things that give us reason to be proud to pass the game along generation to generation.
Oh boy. The patented pull.
This could be either really good or really embarrassing for the camera right here.
We're gonna leave it in no matter what now. Pressure's on. Oh, he clipped it. Spin. Oh, really good. Go in. Calls a shot.
Hope you got that one.
Sit. Oh boy.
The second par 5 plays over an incredible dunescape with little grass islands. To go back to what Dana said earlier, it's totally man-made, but in a few years it'll be hard to tell that this wasn't always here.
Dang.
No.
Back in the bunker.
Pretty there.
That'll work, hopefully. Go.
Good hang time.
Yeah. Good shot.
Nice. Straight? How's that pop?
I'll be on. Yep. Great putt. Up, down.
Very nice.
In the middle. Oh, how did that miss?
I think the game for a lot of people gives your life more meaning. It's a more connected life. And when you have more meaning in your life, it gives you more motivation. You know, simple things, motivation just to stay healthy and to feel good so you can play a respectable game. You know, motivation to get outside and go see your friends and have a friendly competition and give each other the needle a little bit. It brings so many positives into your life, they're almost hard to quantify. But at its real root, it's the relationships of the people We talked earlier about playing golf with great players. Some of the best games of golf that I have are not with great players. They're with interesting, well-meaning people that you can share a lot in common with.
That is one of the great things about the game, is that it really doesn't matter as long as you're a golfer and you understand the game and play the right way. But you can be of any skill level.
100%. You know, and what other game is it possible to have a game with a 9-year-old and a 90-year-old and everyone in between? Man, woman, doesn't matter. I play golf with very different types of people, very different ages, and to see how important the game is to everyone is just inspiring and keeps me wanting to do what we're doing at the USGA as well.
He's going with the creative path. Gotta go. It's gonna be the right read. Yeah, that's slow, isn't it? Really properly front to back here.
Boy, you could have a lot of fun with that.
Oh my goodness, got to. I'm gonna try and touch the fringe, I think. Gotta take the road less traveled. Oh, that could be nice. Go!
Do it!
Oh! That's awesome.
Bravo.
Why take the straight shot when you can do that? That's just so much more fun. The golf ball does not ask questions.
Golf ball doesn't know, doesn't care.
Know, doesn't care. Oh, here's the 9th. Yeah, wow. Great swing.
Nice play.
Thank you.
The 9th really blew me away. I'm a sucker for everything going on here. The hard lines around the fairway, the bunkering, the elevation change, this short par 4 is what I show people when they ask me about Miakka.
Golf is in the hands of more people than ever before. We've seen that, and history has shown us that before, but then we don't retain them in the game. This time around, with all this new interest in the game, it's incumbent upon all of us to keep them in the game. You know, we want to see these young people, any new person, no matter their age, that's been exposed to the game of golf, we want to see them keep playing golf to some degree 10, 20 years from now.
Absolutely. There's been almost a counter narrative that's happened in this golf boom, with maybe people frustrated that their once empty golf course is now filled with people. It's shrink the game. And I think that's so counterintuitive and so short-sighted. Where
those are called good problems.
Yeah, correct. It's you're growing.
We
too
like
fast.
good problems.
Absolutely.
We'll take more of those.
Yeah, I think it's got to go in the other direction, and people forget that golf was maybe not in such a great place pre-COVID.
No, and there's so many, like we said earlier today, there's so many different ways to play the game now. Yeah. Short form golf, golf and snackable content, so to speak, indoor golf. And now you can play golf at night, indoors. The technology is only going to get better and better.
Totally.
So exciting times ahead for the game, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. And having people like you in the game that are so passionate about it make us all feel better about the game going forward.
Well,
so keep up your great work.
That's high praise, and the game's in good hands.
We mean it.
With you steering the ship.
It takes all of us.
Totally.
We're better together.
Really one of the better looking short par 4s I've seen in a long time. Awesome, awesome approach. I love that I can just see the flag stick up against the sky. That gives you such a good idea of how uphill, how much elevation change has been brought in here. Just try and hit a good one. It's on line. Get back there. All right. Ah, not to be. Thank you so much for doing this.
It was a lot of fun. I've never regretted saying yes when it comes to serving the game of golf. And I think we said this earlier too, but I have found that the more you give back to the game, the more you get. It's just seems to be a constant in life. And so serving the game is a privilege. Seeing joy, the joy of the game brought to so many others is a real charge. And it's even better than shooting 66 once in a while.
What a treat to get to experience this place with Kevin. I'm lucky to call him a friend, and I know that our game is in great hands. He understands it from just about every perspective, and after learning more about his story, whether he knew it or not, he's been training for this gig his whole life. Until next time, thank you for watching. This has been a Sticks Golf Research film.